Chapter 1: The Desperate Job Search. The scorching sun beat down relentlessly on the arid landscape of the Nevada desert, casting long shadows across the bustling city of Las Vegas. Amidst the glitz and glamour of the Strip, there lay pockets of hardship, where the aftermath of the COVID scare lingered like a dark cloud. For me, the impact was profound. With bills mounting and mouths to feed, the weight of responsibility pressed down heavily on my shoulders. Each day seemed like an uphill battle as I trudged through the city streets, searching desperately for any opportunity to alleviate our financial burden. The once vibrant job market had dwindled, leaving me scrambling for scraps in a sea of competition. Countless applications were submitted, endless interviews endured, yet success remained elusive. It seemed as though every door slammed shut in my face, each rejection a painful reminder of our dire circumstances. But still, I persisted. With unwavering determination fueled by love for my family, I refused to succumb to despair. From dawn till dusk, I scoured the town, leaving no stone unturned in my quest for employment. Whether it was flipping burgers at a fast food joint or stocking shelves at a convenience store, I was willing to do whatever it took to put food on the table and a roof over our heads. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, hope began to wane, and despair threatened to consume me. Yet, even in the darkest of moments, a flicker of optimism remained, a tiny spark of resilience that refused to be extinguished. Little did I know that amidst the desert sands, amidst the hustle and bustle of Las Vegas, a glimmer of opportunity awaited, a chance encounter that would change the course of my destiny forever. Chapter 2: A Mysterious Offer. It was a night like any other in the desert, the sky painted with a tapestry of stars that stretched endlessly into the horizon. As I trudged wearily along the deserted streets of Las Vegas, my thoughts consumed by the weight of our financial woes, a figure materialized from the shadows, as if conjured by the desert's whispers. The man's appearance was as enigmatic as the desert itself, his features obscured by the darkness that enveloped him. Yet, there was an air of intrigue that surrounded him, an aura of mystery that piqued my curiosity. With a voice as smooth as silk and eyes that seemed to pierce through the veil of night, he extended an offer that seemed too good to be true. A job, he said, at a 24-hour drive-thru coffee and pastry shop nestled in the heart of the desert, far from the prying eyes of the city. At first, I hesitated, my mind awash with doubts and uncertainties. What kind of establishment would thrive in such seclusion? What manner of clientele would frequent its doors in the dead of night? But as he spoke of the generous paycheck and the opportunity to provide for my family in ways I had never imagined, the allure of the offer became impossible to resist. With a heavy heart and a mind clouded by desperation, I accepted, my footsteps guided by the promise of a brighter future. Little did I know that this decision would mark the beginning of a journey fraught with danger and intrigue, a journey that would lead me down a path shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. Chapter 3: Strange Occurrences. As I settled into my new role at the secluded drive-thru coffee and pastry shop, the desert nights stretched on, each one blending seamlessly into the next. The hours ticked by slowly, the only company the soft hum of machinery and the occasional distant howl of a coyote. The job, as promised, was slow at first. With only a handful of customers venturing out into the desert night, I found myself passing the time with idle tasks, the monotony of the desert landscape stretching out before me like an endless expanse of sand. But one fateful evening, as the clock struck midnight and the world outside slumbered in darkness, a delivery truck rumbled to life, its headlights piercing through the veil of night like beacons in the desert. With a sense of anticipation tinged with curiosity, I watched as crates of supplies were unloaded from the truck, their contents shrouded in mystery. Among them, a lone bag of flour caught my eye, its label adorned with strange symbols that seemed to dance in the flickering light. Little did I know, this was no ordinary flour. As I later discovered, it was a new form of ingredient, a concoction of herbs and spices unlike anything I had ever seen before. Its aroma was intoxicating, filling the air with a heady scent that stirred something deep within me. Intrigued by its potential, I wasted no time in experimenting with the new ingredient, incorporating it into our pastries with a sense of excitement bordering on obsession. And as the first batch emerged from the oven, golden and glistening with promise, I knew that this flour held the key to something far greater than I could have ever imagined. Little did I know, however, that with each bite of these newfound delicacies, I was unwittingly unlocking a door to a world beyond my wildest dreams, a world where reality blurred with fantasy and the boundaries between the seen and the unseen began to fade away. Chapter 4: Paranormal Encounters. As the aroma of our newly infused pastries wafted through the desert night, something peculiar began to stir within me. With each bite of these tantalizing treats, my senses sharpened, my perception heightened to a level I had never experienced before. At first, I attributed it to the novelty of the ingredients, the excitement of experimenting with something new. But as the nights wore on and the strange occurrences multiplied, I couldn't shake the feeling that something otherworldly was at play. It started with subtle whispers in the darkness, fleeting glimpses of movement out of the corner of my eye. Shadows danced along the edges of my vision, shapes shifting and morphing in the dim light of the shop. Unbeknownst to me, the aroma of our baked goods had attracted more than just the local desert dwellers. Beyond the veil of the night sky, extraterrestrial visitors had taken notice, drawn to the tantalizing scent of our pastries like moths to a flame. Among them, beings from distant galaxies traversed the cosmos, their spacecraft descending upon the desert landscape in a silent ballet of light and shadow. Some were passing through on their way to a nearby secret military base, while others simply sought respite from the vast emptiness of space. As I toiled away in the solitude of the shop, unaware of the cosmic spectacle unfolding outside, I couldn't help but feel a sense of unease creeping over me. The desert nights, once a source of solace and tranquility, now felt suffused with an otherworldly energy, a presence that lingered just beyond the edges of my consciousness. And as the paranormal phenomena intensified, I found myself drawn deeper into a world of mystery and intrigue, where the line between reality and fantasy blurred with each passing moment. Little did I know, the true extent of my encounters with the unknown had only just begun, and the secrets of the desert night were yet to be revealed. Chapter 5: Encounter with the Lizard Man. The desert night hung heavy around me as I manned the window of the drive-thru coffee and pastry shop, the air thick with anticipation and a sense of foreboding that seemed to linger like a shadow. As the hours dragged on, the steady hum of the desert wind was interrupted by the distant rumble of approaching footsteps, each one echoing like a drumbeat in the silence of the night. And then, he appeared. A towering figure, shrouded in darkness and cloaked in mystery, emerged from the depths of the desert, his presence commanding attention like a storm on the horizon. His form was obscured by the darkness that enveloped him, his features hidden beneath the brim of a wide-brimmed hat and the folds of a long, flowing cloak. As he drew nearer, a sense of unease crept over me, the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end as a chill wind swept through the air. His military card, presented with a sense of purpose that seemed almost rehearsed, raised my suspicions further, the insignia emblazoned upon it sending a shiver down my spine. But it was his hand that caught my eye, his three-fingered hand wrapped in a black glove that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. Despite my growing unease, I pushed aside my doubts and served him, the weight of desperation outweighing the nagging voice of caution in the back of my mind. Little did I know, this encounter would mark the beginning of a journey into the unknown, a journey fraught with danger and discovery, where the secrets of the desert night would be laid bare and the true nature of the world around me would be revealed in all its terrifying glory. Chapter 6: Revelations and Abduction. As the night wore on and the mysterious visitor disappeared into the darkness, a sense of unease settled over me like a heavy shroud. The memory of his unusual appearance lingered in my mind, his three-fingered hand a constant reminder of the strange events that had unfolded before me. But as the hours passed and the desert nights stretched on, a new wave of customers began to trickle in, their appearances as peculiar as their cravings for our otherworldly pastries. Some wore strange garments that seemed out of place in the desert night, while others bore markings and symbols that spoke of distant worlds and far-off galaxies. And then, they came. Extraterrestrial visitors from across the cosmos descended upon the desert landscape, their spacecraft hovering in the sky like silent sentinels as they awaited their turn at the drive-thru window. Their forms were as varied as the stars themselves, each one a testament to the diversity of life that thrived beyond the reaches of our own world. As I served them with a sense of trepidation and wonder, I couldn't help but feel a growing sense of curiosity about the true nature of these visitors and the role they played in the grand tapestry of the universe. And it wasn't long before my questions were answered in the most unexpected of ways. Two telepathic beings, their minds as open as the vast expanse of space itself, approached the window one night with a sense of purpose that belied their ethereal forms. Without a word spoken aloud, they conveyed to me a sense of urgency, a feeling that I was somehow integral to their plans for the future. In that moment, as their thoughts melded with mine in a dance of consciousness and understanding, I realized that the events unfolding before me were far greater than I could have ever imagined. And as they disappeared into the night, leaving behind only the echo of their presence and the promise of a future yet to be written, I knew that my journey into the unknown had only just begun. Chapter 7: Confrontation with the Lizard Leader. As the desert night enveloped me in its embrace, I found solace in the familiar ritual of baking, the comforting aroma of freshly infused cannabis filling the air with a sense of tranquility and warmth. With each carefully measured ingredient and precise fold of the batter, I lost myself in the artistry of creation, oblivious to the world outside and the dangers that lurked beyond the veil of darkness. But little did I know, my actions had attracted the attention of a force far greater than I could have ever imagined. As the scent of my special batch of brownies wafted through the night air, a shadow fell over the shop, casting a pall of darkness over the desert landscape. And then, he appeared. A towering figure, his form bathed in an eerie glow that seemed to emanate from within, stood before me with a sense of purpose that sent shivers down my spine. His eyes, gleaming with a fierce intelligence that seemed to pierce through the very fabric of reality, bore into mine with an intensity that left me paralyzed with fear. In a shocking turn of events, he revealed his true form, shedding the guise of humanity to reveal the monstrous visage of a lizard man, his scales glistening in the dim light like polished obsidian. With a voice that rumbled like thunder in the desert night, he spoke of ancient prophecies and cosmic destinies, his words carrying the weight of centuries of wisdom and knowledge. And then, without warning, he seized me in his powerful grasp, his grip like iron around my wrists as he dragged me towards his waiting spacecraft, my cries for help drowned out by the roar of the engines and the cacophony of voices that filled the night sky. As we soared into the heavens, the world below disappearing beneath a blanket of stars, I realized with a sinking heart that my fate was no longer my own. I had been abducted, taken prisoner by forces beyond my comprehension, destined for a future that held more uncertainty and peril than I could have ever imagined. Chapter 8: Unexpected Alliance. As I stood aboard the alien spacecraft, surrounded by beings from distant galaxies and worlds beyond my wildest dreams, a sense of dread settled over me like a heavy fog. The lizard leader, his form towering over me like a colossus of ancient legend, spoke of conquest and domination with a fervor that sent chills down my spine. But to my surprise, his tone softened as his gaze fell upon the tray of pastries I had brought with me, their intoxicating aroma filling the air with a sense of warmth and comfort that seemed to cut through the tension like a knife. With a cautious curiosity, he reached out and took a bite, his eyes widening in surprise as the flavors exploded on his tongue. To my amazement, he praised my creations, their unique blend of ingredients awakening something primal within him that he had long forgotten. And as he spoke of his desire to conquer Earth, a twist of fate occurred that would change the course of history forever. For you see, the intoxicating effects of the treats had inadvertently thwarted their invasion plans, rendering their forces weak and disoriented in the face of our unexpected resistance. And in that moment of vulnerability, a glimmer of hope emerged, a flicker of possibility that spoke of an alliance forged in the fires of adversity. With the lizard leader's blessing, I reached out to my fellow humans, rallying them to our cause with promises of peace and cooperation. And as we stood together, united in our determination to defend our home against the forces of darkness, I realized that sometimes, the most unlikely alliances are born from the most unexpected of circumstances. And so, with pastries in hand and hearts filled with hope, we embarked on a journey into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and determination. For in the end, it is not the strength of our weapons or the power of our armies that will save us, but the bonds of friendship and the spirit of cooperation that unite us as one. Chapter 9, The Funny Twist. As the dust settled and the chaos of the invasion faded into memory, I found myself once again at a crossroads, the weight of the world heavy upon my shoulders as I struggled to make sense of the events that had unfolded. But just when I thought my adventure was over, a new twist of fate awaited me, one that would turn my world upside down in the most unexpected of ways. For you see, in their fear of my newfound friendship with the extraterrestrials, the government intervened, their voices raised in protest as they demanded my dismissal from my job at the drive-thru coffee and pastry shop. And though I protested vehemently, my pleas fell on deaf ears, their fears outweighing any sense of reason or logic. But as the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, a strange thing began to happen. The aliens, grateful for my contributions in preventing a war and forging an unlikely alliance between our two worlds, began to visit me on weekends, their spacecraft descending upon the desert landscape with a sense of joy and excitement that filled the air with anticipation. With a twinkle in their eyes and a mischievous grin upon their faces, they whisked me away on adventures beyond my wildest dreams, traversing the cosmos in search of new worlds and new experiences. And as we soared through the stars, spreading joy and happiness wherever we went, I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all, the irony of a simple baker from the Nevada desert becoming the galaxy's most unlikely ambassador of goodwill. And so, with a tray of pastries in hand and a heart full of laughter, I embarked on a journey into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with a sense of humor and a spirit of adventure. For in the end, it is not the challenges we face or the obstacles we overcome that define us, but the friendships we forge and the memories we create along the way. Chapter 10, The Galactic Baker. As I soared through the vast expanse of the cosmos, my journey took me to worlds beyond imagination, where the stars danced in intricate patterns and the planets glowed with an otherworldly beauty. With each passing moment, I marveled at the sheer magnitude of the universe, the endless possibilities stretching out before me like an open road. And yet, amidst the grandeur of the cosmos, there was one constant that remained unchanged, my love for baking. With each planet we visited and each species we encountered, I brought with me the joy of creation, spreading happiness and laughter wherever I went. From the crystalline palaces of the ice planet Glaciara to the bustling markets of the floating city of Nebulan Prime, my pastries became a universal language, a symbol of friendship and goodwill that transcended the boundaries of space and time. And as I shared my creations with beings from distant galaxies, I couldn't help but laugh at the absurdity of it all, the irony of a simple baker from the Nevada desert becoming the savior of Earth and the galaxy's favorite pastry chef. But amidst the laughter and the joy, there was a sense of purpose that burned brightly within me, a determination to make a difference in the world, no matter how small. For in the end, it was not the grand gestures or the heroic deeds that defined me, but the simple act of kindness and the willingness to lend a helping hand to those in need. And so, with a tray of pastries in hand and a heart full of laughter, I continued on my journey through the cosmos, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with courage and determination. For in the end, It is not the destination that matters, but the journey itself, and the memories we create along the way.
Thanks for listening to Quantum Dimensionals. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.